All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of, I guess, Trade Talk. I don't know.
Yeah.
And today we have a major trade. So the Knicks just traded for OG Anunoby, and let me just break down everything that the two teams got, and we're gonna go from there. So the Knicks receive OG Anunoby and Precious Achua, and the Toronto Raptors receive RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, and to my surprise, a second round draft pick. I honestly thought they were going to get a first out of this.
Yeah.
Me personally, the moment I saw Toronto Raptors in the trade, I immediately thought, oh, they're going to get fleeced. But it's not. It's not that crazy of a trade, even though I don't like what it means for really the Knicks in terms of you're losing a talent that you like invested in for so long only to trade him away after at this point where I feel like it could have worked. It's kind of weird, but it's not the worst.
Yeah, the Knicks are in a very weird position. Everyone knows this besides Knicks fans because Knicks fans are delusional, but they're in a very weird space of like just being okay. And in the NBA, that doesn't work. You can't be okay. Like if you're not trying to win or if you're not trying to lose, you can't be in the middle. So they're in a weird area of middle ground where their ceiling will always be the second round. This trade, I honestly thought they would have to give up a first round for it. So I mean, to get OG Anunoby and Precious Achua, it's like I guess it's like a I see this as a lateral step. I don't really think that they took a step forward, giving up Barrett and Quickly. Quickly, I know was pretty decent for them. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to the Knicks because like the Knicks fans are annoying. But this trade for me, the only thing that confuses me about this trade is what is Toronto doing? What's the plan with Siakam? If you make a trade like this, are you gonna give Siakam away because he's wants a contract extension and he wants that big money? But should Toronto give him that money because they don't even really? It doesn't really. I'm very confused by Masai Ujiri. Like usually you know what his direction is going to be with trades, but this is just an odd one to me because why do this trade unless you're planning to just we're really gonna start over from scratch and just have it be Scotty Barnes at the forefront. I really felt like you would give away Siakam as well, or maybe that's coming soon. We don't know.
My vibe from this trade is that what I understood from it, from the unspokenness of this, is that pretty much they're giving away some of their forward depth and getting some like guard depth, which they honestly needed ever since they traded Fred VanVleet, because Toronto has too many forwards. They have too many like quality forwards, being honest with you. And I think that they probably will move away from. Not. I keep on thinking Scotty Barnes. He's just on the mind.
Siakam.
Yeah, they're gonna move away from Siakam because it does. Even though age-wise he kind of does fit the timeline, I don't feel that he really. I feel like they're gonna essentially blow up the timeline and just start from new.
Yeah, if you're
And
gonna start over, just start over. Like Scotty Barnes be your best player on a
I think
championship
so.
team? I think he can.
Yeah, I think so.
We're biased because we're Palm Beach, but like I think he can. I don't
Yeah,
see why he can't. I think the only thing he needs to really work on is his offense. But besides that, like defensively, he's there. He
yeah.
can be that guy for you. It's just a matter of putting pieces around him. And for Toronto, I mean, I'm not against this trade. I feel like OG Anunoby was kind of just there. We've been talking
For
about
no
OG
reason,
Anunoby trades. Yeah, we've been talking about OG Anunoby trades for like 2 or 3 years now. I feel
bro. It
like.
feel like 4 or 5.
I feel
Like
like every year we talk about he's going to get traded, and he just never does. And every time we look at the asking price for OG Anunoby, we look at the Raptors like, y'all really think OG Anunoby's worth this? But
I
I
think
mean,
I think the reason why this trade hasn't happened is because of their asking prices. Because I think another thing also, when you look at this trade, I think you described it perfectly. Lateral. They're
yeah,
not really gaining anything, and they're not really losing anything.
I
So
honestly think the Raptors gained more than they lost in this because they actually, it seems like with this move, I'm seeing a direction now where RJ Barrett, because of how much the ball is in Jalen Brunson's hands, he can't, and then Julius Randle as well. He can't really be like a primary focal center of the offense. Now he can kind of do that. You don't really need Scotty Barnes to try to force things offensively because you can just say RJ Barrett, you know, ball out. You can play hoops, and you're back home. You're back home in Canada. So like, just ball out, play hoops. You're back in Toronto, and just hoop. All you have to, you can actually be the focal point of an offense now, which I feel like he should have always been.
Also, I kind of like this trade only for one main reason. I just want to see not Scotty, RJ Barrett home. I think he's gonna ball out in front of Canadian crowds. I really do think he's gonna like take that leap that Knicks fans wanted him to. I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, RJ for All Star, but I think he could definitely take a few steps forward, is because he's gonna have a bigger role on this team. Because like I said, the guard depth isn't that great. Like I can't name you a guard on this team, bro. Like I can't.
I like this trade for Toronto because it finally gives them direction for the Knicks. I'm kind of confused because what is the plan here? Like, I understand that you guys are in a decent standing, and right now they're the 7th seed in the East. If there was a play-in, do I think they get out of the play-in? I think they do. But you're not competing with Boston. You're not competing with Milwaukee. You're not competing with the Heat. In all honesty, they're not. So I'm kind of confused on what's the rationale for trading for Anunoby as a Knicks fan.
I think the rationale for that is fit, because the weird thing with RJ Barrett is that you had like positional and skill set overlap between him and Brunson, and now you're essentially
in terms of their
fit
direction.
Yeah, so honestly, I think it gives them a better fit in terms of like a whole team, because now everyone clearly has a role. And also, you get Precious Achiuwa, who is a pretty solid defender. And yeah. I think the Heat are, I think the Knicks are pretty similar to the Heat in terms of they don't have a sexy roster, but they definitely are getting more out of it than more teams out of the league. Honestly, I think
fair enough.
I think when you look at this roster on paper, it's not that sexy. It's not that great. I'm really thinking, what the hell? But when you watch them play, they play like a much better team than what they actually are.
They play hard. I'll give the Knicks that. They play hard. Even though Julius Randle in the playoffs is an issue, and he started off this season, pretty ass. They play hard. You got to give them credit where credit is due. I'm just confused on why do this trade for Anunoby, because I don't see the direction that you're trying to go. Unless you just wanted more wing depth in terms of defending, then I completely get it. Because then, if you just want defense, you give up Anunoby and Precious Achiuwa, which, Tibbs will make those guys defend. Actually, I see it now. Tibbs will make those guys defend.
Because,
they're already good defenders. So, at least for Anunoby. I don't really know about Precious, but OG can defend. So, him and Tibbs' systems, it makes sense. I can see it from that standpoint.
I think OG's offense is a little, I'd say, underrated. Because similar how the Knicks guard depth is kind of like really deep, and Jalen and RJ couldn't really show off his bag. The same works for Toronto. I feel that like they had a lot of forward overlap to where they were just very front court heavy, and he couldn't really show off everything that he can do. And now he has a chance to really highlight what he can do for this team.
I agree. Very lateral trade. This is the most, like...
It's very even.
I hate to use the word mid, but it's kind of... At least I really see it from the Raptors' perspective of what you're doing, but the Knicks, it's like, yeah, we got some more defense, but who is this for? Is what I'm confused about. Like, what is the end goal here? Do you guys
second round, baby. Second round.
Listen, man. We talked about it on the pod that's coming out soon. We talked about it on the pod where we felt like actually, I don't know if we did talk about this, but I saw that Christmas win, and I don't know, man. There's something about Milwaukee that I can smell. I feel like teams can smell a little bit of blood in the water, and Boston as well. And then Miami as well. I feel like the East isn't really as locked as we all want to think it is.
No,
because we see the Celtics and we see Milwaukee. These teams could be thwarted. I don't know if they can be beaten, but there is some blood in the water. I don't think the East is a lock.
Yeah.
So if they feel like this is what's going to help them win, and this is what can take them over the top, I don't know. But I really feel like if you're making a move like this, it's because you're banking on Julius Randle actually being a solid number 2. And if
Because
you feel like you can be a solid number 2, you know, let's see how it goes.
I mean, when you look at the East, there's only like 4, 5 teams that you really care about, and honestly, I don't feel that like I don't feel that Boston.
I would even say 4. I would even say 5. I would actually say 3. I'd say it's Boston, Milwaukee, and Miami, just because they made the finals last year. Even though people don't want to give them credit, they made the finals last year, so you still got to give them that respect. I feel like it's really only 3. The 76ers, they've been playing well, like Joel and Tyrese, but like I need to see more. Joel's been playing great against shit teams. I need to see more. Actually, to be fair, they did beat Minnesota, but like I need to see more from Joel, and I need to know that I can trust him in April. I don't know if you can trust him in April and May. So that's the bigger issue with the 76ers. So they're a TBD. But I really think it's only 3 teams that are serious in the East.
Because my thing about the Celtics is that if you take away Kristaps, I really do feel like this team's going to be a shell of itself. And a lot of this team runs through Kristaps. Not like, oh my God, Kristaps is a star, but I think he's like by far the best third option you could have possibly gotten for this team.
Yeah.
Like
he's the X factor, I feel like.
Yeah, he really is. Because similar to how Dame, I think with the Bucks, Dame he's very hit or miss, because I think he's just simply not used to having a co-star, because that can just throw off players. Because his whole career, he's only really had, even though he's had CJ McCollum, he hasn't had a forward co-star since like LaMarcus Aldridge. And because 2 guards fitting together, I feel that they can just feel each other out a little bit more versus like a guard and a forward. It's like it's gonna be a bit more of an adjustment period. But
I agree.
I don't think that I'm a Dame fanboy, and I don't trust Dame. I just don't. I just don't. And come playoff time, I'm not sure whose time it's gonna be. It might not be Dame time.
Yeah, I get the move defensively. From a defensive standpoint, if you feel like you wanted more, I get it. If you feel like you need someone to help you stop Giannis or help you stop a Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown getting OG Anunoby, I get it. But offensively, like I said, I'm going to say this about this trade. That means in the playoffs, you are banking on Julius Randle not being the Julius Randle we've seen in the playoffs. And Julius Randle, when it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, it acts like a duck, it's a duck. He just hasn't been that guy in the playoffs. And I don't need to tell Knicks fans that. They know that. But, that's all I have to say about this trade is that you're putting a lot of eggs in the basket of Julius Randle. And I don't know if it's a contract year for him. If it is a contract year, I think this is a good move because then it just shows that, like, if you ball out, you get paid. But we'll see how this goes. Jalen Brunson's been playing terrific this season, by the way.
All-star.
All-star. Yeah.
And I honestly feel that we said everything that we could say about this trade. It's a very lateral trade. There's no real... It's one of the very rare NBA draws, and I think it's going to stay that way. I don't think it's going to, age poorly. It's just a draw. There's no winner or loser. It's just draw. I think the only way someone wins or loses is really which one of these teams get further into the playoffs, which clearly the Knicks have a higher chance of. But that's kind of is what it is. But I think we're more or less done. So shout out to everyone for watching. Thank you for all the love that we've been giving us, and we definitely see what's been working, and we're gonna definitely give you guys a lot more of what y'all want. All right, come 2024, it's gonna be a year of the flow zone, baby.
Please like, comment, share, subscribe, do all of that.
100K by the end of the year.